Man, I got to tell you, this is an exciting night. And tonight, I think you're going to hear a lot of the successes that are taking place in the Greater Lima region. I can't tell you enough. Julie said, "Are you nervous?" I said, Julie's my wife. Just so I make sure I told everybody that. But she said, "Are you nervous?" And I said, "No, I'm excited. I'm excited because we get to tell a story that is happening in Lima, Allen County, in the Greater Lima region that is generational. It's generational. I'm just telling you, you're going to hear some exciting things tonight. And I think it's a night to celebrate. Can we cheer for that? Let's celebrate. We're seeing tremendous progress. Cindy and I will kind of be the MCs of the event and do some different parts of it. But all that being said, it takes a lot of team members. It's all about partnership. It's all about membership. It's all about what can we do together to make this beautiful place that we live in northwestern Ohio an awesome place to be. And so with that said, if you are a city team member, I guess that's the right word, could you stand? City folks, there's some over here, right? Thank you. Yep. The mayor's coming shortly. She'll be here. She said she'd be a little late. If you're a county team member, would you stand? A lot of you, I know Joe Patton's here. Where's Joe? Number of people. If you, Beth Seibert, you didn't stand? I'm going to have to get pretty strong with everybody here. And then if you are a GLR board member, would you stand? Okay, give these guys a round of applause, guys and gals. If you're an EDGE, Allen Economic Development Group board member, would you stand? And there's a number of you there. Okay. Now, we also have special guests that are from RGP and Jobs Ohio. If you're from RGP and Jobs Ohio, would you stand? Okay, they're right up front here. I can only tell you this is about a partnership. It's about a partnership, and it's really working alongside Jobs Ohio, Ohio Department of Development, RGP, because we could not make this happen. And Cindy, wait till you hear some of the different projects. I'm building her up. You better not let me down. But some of the projects that are amazing. In fact, she's got a special announcement for tonight, too, as well. All that being said, we're so glad you're here. This is just a big welcome to you. I'll turn it over to Cindy.
Oh, all right. Thank you, Dave. I'd like to acknowledge our sponsor tonight, though, and that is Jobs Ohio and the Regional Growth Partnership. So thank you very much. And with that, I'd like to introduce Chase Eikenberry. Chase is not only a colleague, but a friend. And Chase Eikenberry serves as the Vice President of Project Management at the Regional Growth Partnership, where she has spent more than a decade advancing economic development and business growth in Northwest Ohio. In her role, Chase leads the region's project management strategy in alignment with Jobs Ohio's key sectors, driving initiatives that strengthen. Listen to all these top 10 sectors. It's advanced manufacturing, plastics and packaging, steel, automotive, logistics, energy, food manufacturing, and agribusiness throughout the region. Chase brings extensive experience in site selection, workforce strategy, and initiative structuring, guiding both global and domestic companies through every stage of investment and growth. Prior to joining RGP, she served under Governor John Kasich, representing Northwest Ohio in business outreach and expansion efforts on behalf of the administration. Her leadership has been recognized through honors such as being named among Ohio's top 20 under 40, lucky you, and celebrated within her University of Findlay alumni network, as well as a finalist for the Ohio Economic Developer of the Year. Chase holds both undergraduate and graduate degrees from the University of Findlay, including an MBA with a focus on public administration and organizational leadership. Please welcome to the stage Chase Eikenberry.
Well, thank you. Thanks, Cindy. I'm a little nervous because you have an announcement tonight, and I hope I'm not gonna. What's your announcement? I don't, because I'm saying some things, so I don't. Okay. I mean, I had to double check LinkedIn to make sure it was everything I was saying was okay. So, but thank you, and thank you, Dave. It's a privilege to be here tonight on behalf of the Regional Growth Partnership and Jobs Ohio Network as we celebrate the accomplishments and the achievements of the Greater Lima region and Allen Economic Development. And as we look ahead to the next generation of growth and opportunity right here in Allen County, I was thinking about the theme tonight, and sometimes I listen to Dave. Sometimes.
Okay.
And so I thought, okay, unlike in years past, because if you were here a couple years ago, I kind of roasted Dave pretty hard, and he won't let me.
You only have 4 minutes, just
Okay.
so you know, so you better step
I
it
mean,
up.
I can bring out some old
Jeez.
material. If anybody wants some Davisms, Julie and I have them. But so we're in a good place.
Whatever.
So I'm not going to do that tonight, but instead, I am going to listen to him and talk about the future ahead of Ohio and, of course, here in Allen County. So earlier this year, Jobs Ohio launched its Jobs Ohio 2030 strategic plan. So this is really a roadmap to make Ohio the #1 state in the Midwest and a top state in the nation based on all of our prosperity markers. So to get there, we're going to focus on 3 outcomes. And it's exactly in line with the Greater Lima region and what Cindy and Tim want to see happen with Allen Economic Development Group. So creating high quality paying jobs, building a resilient economy, and increasing prosperity across all regions of the state, of course, in Lima and Allen County. So the plan is built around all of our key tactics, especially within our industry-focused sectors that Cindy mentioned. But we're capitalizing on what we're now calling super sectors. So you're going to hear us when we're out and about talking to businesses talk about our super sectors. So your employers in advanced manufacturing and logistics and food and ag, they're really driving growth here in Allen County for those super sectors. So companies like Synovus and Nutrien, they continue to obviously invest in Ohio in new technologies and in new high quality jobs. We're also seeing this within our business retention and expansion visits, and I'm sure the Allen County team's gonna talk about those. And we conduct those not only with those large manufacturers, but a lot of small businesses. And we've been able to leverage the Jobs Ohio Small Business Grant year after year after year, and Allen County continues to be one of our leading counties within the region that continue to leverage that. So a lot of dollars have come into the small businesses here in Allen County thanks to the efforts of Cindy, Tim, and Dave. So those visits will continue this year. I think we have a few on the calendar for the next few weeks. But so far, we visited just from our team, from Jobs Ohio and the Regional Growth Partnership, we've been a part of about 59 of those visits this year. I know Cindy and Tim have done a lot more. But those, if you're asked to have us come and talk to you, we just want to help uncover new leads, eventually convert them to projects, and hopefully we can support financially with that. Another way that we're looking at supporting and looking into the future in Allen County is by assisting in the sites and buildings and development. So an example of this is a partnership with one of our great partners who's putting up 2 new speculative buildings right along I-75. So by our friend and partner Chuck Bills from Ohio Logistics. With our grant support from Jobs Ohio and the plan now being final, our team has started to market these buildings as ready to go, modern manufacturing space right along I-75. So everybody in this room should keep an eye out on those facilities, promote them within your networks, and work with this trusted developer and business leader that keeps investing in Allen County. So thank you, Chuck. Finally, we can't talk about the future unless we recognize the momentum happening in downtown Lima. So transformational projects like Spring and Main and the Central District are just simply redefining the way that we're living and growing here in the county. And just earlier today on a statewide webinar, Tracy mentioned, hey, I'm not a developer. And she goes, but then Cindy told me I was. And she really is. So the whole state is watching what's happening in downtown Lima. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Mr. Hafey, for your continued investments and belief in Allen County and our region. So through this partnership with Jobs Ohio, RGP, Allen Economic Development, and leaders like you in the room, we are continued to look forward, be competitive in Northwest Ohio. And as Dave told me the theme tonight, we're just gonna keep looking forward. So keep building on that, fueling through talent, fueling our growth through talent and innovation and collaboration. So thank you very much for your partnership, for your leadership, and for having us here tonight.
Yeah, awesome.
And we really can't do what we do without the Regional Growth Partnership. So thank you again for being a part of what we do in Allen County. I'd also like to introduce Tim Derrickson. He's with the Jobs Ohio. He is a managing director there. He's born and raised on the family's dairy farm in Butler County. And his lifelong connection to agriculture makes him an ideal fit to lead Jobs Ohio food and ag business sector. He served 8 years in the Ohio House of Representatives and served as chairman of several committees. He served as assistant director and interim director at the Ohio Department of Agriculture during 2 administrations and served as chairman of the Ohio FFA Foundation. Tim's legislative accomplishments range from eliminating state tax on Bell grants to reducing small business startup costs by 21%. Tim branded Ohio's Workforce Investment Act, now known as Ohio Means Jobs. That was something I knew that I found out about Tim, so thank you so much. And that has been a very integral part of helping Ohio's unemployed, underemployed citizens find and qualify for jobs in Ohio at ohiomeansjobs.com. So please welcome to the stage Tim Derrickson.
Thanks, Cindy. I like the idea of this being a roast of you.
Wow.
I mean, that makes it a lot more fun for me. So Dave said, Tim, since Jobs Ohio is a sponsor, I'll give you 2 minutes, but no more than 2 minutes. So
I don't
thanks,
remember
Dave,
the no more part, but that's
thanks,
okay.
for 2 minutes.
Yep.
So in 2 minutes, what can an old dairy farmer, politician say? I could ramble for longer than that, but I think the partnership thing is what I kind of wanted to bring to light from my perspective. We deal with a lot of projects in the state of Ohio, and Jobs Ohio, we're very dependent upon our regional partners. Chase Regional Growth Partnership is our regional partner here. We have 7 around the state, but RGP really does an exceptional job at staying engaged with you, with everyone in their region. So I'm dependent really heavily on RGP bringing projects to us, to Jobs Ohio and Columbus. Likewise, Chase and RGP is very dependent on local economic development organizations, like who is hosting us here tonight, for those same projects. What's unique to me is that the relationship that Cindy and Tim and Dave have spawned is that I feel as connected, frankly, with these 3 as I do RGP. I mean, the phone calls are direct. There's not a lot of downtime. If there's something that we need to act upon, these 3 know that they can call us directly. RGP is always involved. But I don't see that necessarily around the entire state. Again, I'm dependent on our regional partners, and they all do a very good job. But these folks do a little extra. They make sure that I know what's going on here as well as RGP. So I appreciate the partnership. I know they're very engaged with you. I know very few in this room, but I know they do a great job for you because I see it from my side. So Dave,
Awesome.
I'm
Thank
sure
you.
that's about 2
Oh, you
minutes,
did awesome.
but thanks
Thank
for the
you.
invitation.
Thanks, Tim. So Tim has become a really good friend, like-minded, came from a dairy farm. I came from a hog farm years and years, 100 years ago. But we have very much similar. And we also see, I would say we have the, gift from the Lord of being a maximizer. How can we see something, and then how can we see it become even better? And that's honestly why I joined Edge in 2015. I'm going to give somebody a credit here. So Jeff Sprague, where's Jeff? Would you stand up, Jeff? Okay, so this is a good friend. Give Jeff a hand. So if you go back to 2017, there was really a goal to redefine what economic development looked like in Lima, Allen County, and beyond. And Jeff, along with other team members, whether it was Phil Buell, whether it was Mike Swick, a whole litany of people that said, let's start doing things different. How many of you in here were a part of the visionaries? Were you a visionary member? Okay, so at one time there was about 130 visionaries. The goal really was, though, can we redefine what it looks like through Allen Economic Development Group in the greater Lima region? And that's how it was birthed, right? Jeff was the one who brainstormed. However, you need funding. And at that time, the visionaries was maybe about 130. It started dwindling down to the point it was only about 60. And there was about 6 companies that I'm going to bless right now, hopefully, and say thank you. And so we're going to have in the conference room at Allen Economic Development Group, kind of a Hall of Fame type approach. But if you've seen the pictures over here, P&G was one. Gabrielle's here. He's from my hometown of Rome. And we're very fortunate to have him. There's a picture there. Superior. So you have Phil Buell stepped up, came together with P&G. Synovus over here. Synovus was a part of the team. Where's my Synovus folks? Okay, way over there. Thanks, Dean, for what you're doing. There's a picture over here of Nutrien, Todd and Russ. Todd's coming, I know. And Todd's back there, okay? And then, where are we at here? Lima Memorial. Where's my friends there? They're back there. Mike Swick and Lynn's back there. And then Mercy Health. Anybody from Mercy? Where are we at here? There you go. Okay, thank you, Beth, for being here. Give them a round of applause, would you please? So the platinum sponsors you see on the screen, they not only started back in that day, 2017, they continue because they see the value of what we're doing with Allen Economic Development Group in the greater Lima region. The next level of sponsorship is the level of gold sponsorship. Perry Protech, we're here somewhere. Oh, there, Becky's here, okay. Blessing, they really stepped up to the plate as well. Now we're going to the silver. Okay, now these are silver sponsors. We would love all of you to consider being a silver sponsor. That's 5,000 or greater. Okay, that's me just making a pitch. Phil's going to do it later, aren't you? Okay, so, and then the bronze. Now get this, right? So watch this. So flip through that if you would there. Slow pace so everybody can see their names and highlight, right? So these sponsors, we're seeing in abundance. In January 1st of this year, there were 60 businesses that were part of the GLR. Today, there's approaching 100. It's right at about 91. But I've got about 4 or 5 that are saying, we need to be a part of this because we're seeing things happen. And next year, when we had to do this, nobody remember this because I'm going to say this, my goal is 130. So if we can get to that, I would love to see that happen. But can we give all of you a round of applause, please? Again, these pictures will be in the conference room, in the Edge and GLR conference room. And we are thrilled by that group. But we're thrilled with all of you, whether you're a bronze sponsor, gold sponsor, silver sponsor. We get it. There's different levels. Not everybody has the bandwidth to be able to be a platinum sponsor. We understand. We're thankful for you at whatever level that you are. Now I'm going to transition. I'm going to share with you a little bit of my passion, and that is we are all about the next generation, right? And if we're not, we're going to be left behind. I've been privileged over the last about 9 months, 10 months, that when I go out to try to have membership come in, I'm meeting a lot of young people that are seeing reasons to come back to Lima, Allen County. And so I don't say this lightly, and you're going to see them on the screen here. It really gets me excited knowing we have the next generation to get excited about the future. And we need to do that. And so we're going to empower them all that we can. I want you to hear their story. So here's a video.
The thing I appreciate about being in Lima, from a young age, you're offered a seat at a table. Sometimes when you're in bigger cities, the seat isn't available. Eric, my father, asked if I wanted to join the family business at All Service Class. And after many years of asking and me saying no, I finally said yes.
I was debating on, do I stay with this corporation and potentially move up the ranks? The other option was, I knew there was an opportunity to come back home and work for the family business.
I had opportunities to go elsewhere, but when Nutrien offered me, it just made sense for me to come home.
I came to UNOH to go to college. I really started to love the area that it resides in Lima.
Actually had a job or two lined up, but ultimately turned it down to come back here.
Living in Kentucky, I was dealing with, high cost of living. We need to buy a house. We want to start a family. Lima, on the other hand, was an easier place to live.
I'd looked and interviewed a little bit on the East Coast and then in Columbus and Dayton and Cleveland, but kind of my best opportunity for a career path right away was in Lima.
We had the jobs people would be looking for in our fields. We had our first kid down in Cincinnati. After about a year, we were able to recognize kind of the special place that Lima is.
I could see the vision that Lima had and the energy, and frankly, it was a place where I could make a splash and try to be a leader.
We're just in the center of logistics. The highway system are like old rivers, and we are right in the middle of two of the most important rivers in the world with US 30 and 75.
Lima's both big enough to provide a wealth of opportunities professionally and recreationally, but it's also small enough where anyone who's willing to put in the work can make a meaningful impact in the community.
I really enjoyed the people. I enjoyed being with my family. The lifestyle that you want, you can achieve here.
Finding a place to live was affordable and easy to do. I've also really enjoyed getting to know a lot of the people within this community and creating a network here.
I feel like I had a really great childhood growing up here. And for my future kids, I want them to have all the same opportunities that I had.
We got a lot of support. I still have a lot of family here, and we've been here since 2011, and we've been loving it ever since.
There can be some negative stigmas to Lima that I don't think necessarily are correct anymore.
I saw the growth that was coming with Lima. I think we had waited years and years and years, and boom, here it was. It really started going full force.
The new things we're seeing here around Lima, including the Spring and Main, the amphitheater, all the new restaurants like Cane's, Wingstop, those are some of my favorites.
What I really notice now is that I don't miss anything. We have that here.
Walking around, exploring different retail spaces, coffee shops, restaurants. I just love the energy that you feel when you come down here.
I really truly believe that we are just neighbors serving neighbors here, and I think it's such a unique magic in a bottle.
Wow, give that a hand. I love that. So magic in a bottle. Ann, where'd you come up with that? That was really cool. And I like the highway thing too. That was really neat. So we brought them all together. Here's the exciting part in my mind. So all the 8 that you saw, the young professionals there, were a GLR member. There was a couple that were. The rest became GLR members. And that tells me there's a future when we start engaging with the younger generation. We want to do that. And we're doing that in a variety of ways. I'm going to take a little liberty here too. I wanted to introduce the team. Everybody knows Cindy, I know, so Cindy Lease. But Jenna, where are you? Jenna, she's really a star. She just became administrative assistant in the last 6 months. Thank you for all you do. And then Tim is over here, Fitzpatrick. He joined the team about 8 months ago or so. So that team is really a part of it. But it's even more so. So I want to introduce Rex Huffman. So Rex, can you wave to everybody? Okay, he's a star. He is one that's really helped us with a lot of the development that's taking place with the Port Authority of Allen County. So thank you. I'm glad you're here. I want to introduce Tim. Now, Tim, if you'd come up, I'll let you take it over here. We're thinking about the next generation. And Tim and I have talked a lot about how can we get there. We're going to turn him loose, let him do his thing in respect to workforce. Tim?
Yeah, so good evening. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Tim Fitzpatrick. Joined actually 11 months ago, so time is flying as we seem to think about it. Dave just keeps making me younger, which is fantastic. But it truly is a wonderful thing to celebrate the generations, and one of those initiatives is MakerFest. So I'm kind of curious, how many of you, I've asked this question in a couple other places, how many of you or your company was present participating with MakerFest? Can you just raise your hand? That is awesome. Look at those hands. So the rest of you that didn't raise your hand, why not? Well, I am excited to show you this next video because it does really capture what took place on those 2 days. So please.
Today really is all about you. We want all of you young people that you not only consider, but you choose the Greater Lima region for your career.
There is nothing else in our region like this where we're going to have 1,600 students from 21 different school districts.
It's really nice because it's directed towards me and careers that I want to go into, and it's really useful. MakerFest is a great way to find what you want to do in the future, especially if you're like me and you don't really know what you want to do.
They didn't even know that that was a job, that was a career path that they could go on until they experienced something like MakerFest.
I was going into this very closed-minded on what I wanted to do, but it really branched my understanding out of what every field has to offer.
A lot of them don't realize how much potential there is here in Lima, and it's a really great opportunity for them to get some hands-on experience.
We're constantly looking for employees, anywhere from welders, machinists.
Really exposing students to the community and the resources that's available, as well as the community to those students.
I didn't know that all this stuff was in Lima and this close to me. So many businesses, so many different types of jobs available in one space. Anybody who wants to come, I say come. It's a great experience, and I don't think you'll regret it.
It's a really amazing place.
You're going to find your career here.
Awesome. So I really want to build on what Heather mentioned there. So Heather, thank you for giving that little sound bite, but she's not wrong. In fact, we polled our students, the teachers, and the companies after the event to try and get an idea of where things stood. And I want to bring up the students first. So if you're colorblind, I'm sorry, but if you could take a look and focus in on green and purple, before the event, after the event. I don't know, but that just screamed like wow to me. And I was very excited to see that the students actually took that away from that event, that they really now feel more familiar with what you guys do on the regular, and that gives them a chance to think about what their future looks like at that point. So that's awesome. And so I asked the teachers if they could give me some ideas of what did the students really take away, and there were some great stories that they even brought up. There was one that was telling me that their student went in having no clue of what they wanted to do. Then they started climbing the power pole, and that solidified it for them, and they are now going into they would like to be a lineman. The other one that was somewhat comical, and there was a little bit of a shot here, and so I'm going to give a shout out to Alltemp as well as to AEP. They both brought in cranes. AEP sat there and said, hey students, here you go, here are the controls. Alltemp was saying, no way, they can't do that. And then they looked over at AEP, they looked over at their place, and they said, okay. So they got the students involved then at that point. And that was another thing that resonated, that the students actually got to, do the joysticks with the cranes. But the other one, and you saw the young lady's face there, is probably what I'm envisioning what this teacher said, that when the student delivered the baby. So Lima Memorial, thank you so much. That was impressive, and I know that Matt Huffman Jr. saw a lot that day. So God bless, God bless. But one of the last things that I would say is that there was a teacher that did describe, they got on the bus and they just simply asked, and these are high school students, everybody, not only high school students, but they're 9th and 10th graders, and if you have a 9th and 10th grader in your house, you know that they're not necessarily like the most resounding personalities of sorts, right? But this teacher described getting on the bus and asking the students, did you actually find value in doing some of the things? And there was a resounding yes. So again, those types of stories really do resonate with me. We asked them to kind of write some of the words that they thought about the event, and these were the big words that came out of the survey. So if you don't know what a word cloud is the big words, or the large words, I should say that, the large words are the ones that come out more often than not in the survey. So if you take a look at that, this is what truly came out of the students' mouths, if you will, in that survey. And I think that there's some really great words up there. You know, the experience, the clarity, visualization, inquiry. That kind of gives us a little bit of hope. At least I think it's a little bit of hope. So how about the companies? So those of you that did have your hands raised, and those of you that will have your hands raised next year, one of the things I want you to also understand, when we asked the companies what their takeaways were, they had two big words that came up so many different times, and they were exposure and connections. And so, again, thank you for taking the risk to deal with some of the 9th and 10th graders on that day. But at the same rate, look at some of the comments that they also had from the standpoint of their experience. The one that I was really appreciative of is the last comment right there, that I really consider it more of a responsibility that we have to help students as they are beginning to think about their next chapter in career. I'm not one that gets emotional all that much, but God dang, you guys spoke to me, and I had to go home and I raised a glass and said cheers. I did not cry. But nonetheless, it is amazing some of the things that the companies said and some of the things that you guys all did with the kids, because it obviously meant something to them for them to get their hands on and actually gain that experience like they said in that last slide. So, if you would like to be a part of MakerFest next year, awesome. Out here on the table, there's a little flyer right there. It even has a little QR code, so if you're bored a little bit later on, feel free, snap that. Take a look at some of the things that are going on with the MakerFest website, let alone some of the things that the students were able to overcome. So with that, Dave also then asked me to think about, like, where are we going to take this? What's next? So what are the next workforce development type of things that we can do, whether it be GLR, whether it be EDGE, that we can start to work with you all? So at a recent GLR engagement breakfast, I kind of threw this graphic up. Our main focus is you as the businesses. And when it comes to workforce development, it's really kind of humbling to know how many partners we have in this region to be able to help us out with said workforce development. And there's a lot of those entities right there. What's our job, and I say this collectively, not that it's Tim Fitzpatrick's job, but what our job is to do is to really bring the connections with you all. So that is what my hope is for you all, and hopefully we can start to work together on some of that to keep this thing going. So when it comes to some of our future initiatives, we will continue to do MakerFest. Thank you. And Dave, myself, Cindy, we serve on a few workforce development boards and councils, so we want to continue that aspect so that we can hear, listen, and understands a little bit of what's going on so that maybe we can kind of come up with some other initiatives to help out with that, such as, and this is some of the soon to come stuff, I'll be working with Mr. Horner and a few other superintendents in the career center pathway here. We're going to be part of a career pathway support network that will kind of entail most of Northwest Ohio for us to take into consideration these pathways. I'm going to be looking at doing a workforce summit, getting a lot of our partners together and kind of figuring out what are we doing and how are we helping. And then I have some other thoughts, maybe a little MakerFest for y'all that's a little more adult-like, where we can kind of interact with each other to know what degrees, what trainings, what certificates you offer, and that way the companies can interact with you all. And then I got another one that I just pitched at Mr. Unterbrink this morning that I'm a little excited about as well. But something to get our college students more involved with the likes of all of you. I know that you have a great need for internships, and I know a lot of that is worked through Mr. Patton and his team over at OMJ. Well, maybe we need to get the colleges to open up a little bit more and help us get access to those students. And I have some thoughts on that aspect. So those are soon to come initiatives. So stay tuned on that aspect. But bottom line, this is one of the things that I really do believe, and it has become a little bit of my credo. So pardon me for being a little bit selfish in this part, but workforce is more than jobs. It truly is our people. It truly is the potential that we have in this place. And I know that we don't necessarily have millions of people around the Allen County area, but I know that millions of people want to come because Tim Derrickson said so to Ohio and hopefully right here to Allen County. All right, so your work is cut out for yourself as well. And together I do know that I really want to work on a strategy to kind of help us all out, and it takes the likes of you. You guys are the reasons why we do what we do. So grab your flyer on your way out and be a part of MakerFest next year. Thank you, everybody.
Across Allen County and our region, progress is everywhere. New projects, new partnerships, new jobs, and new energy are shaping the places we call home. Thanks to the work of the Allen Economic Development Group and the Greater Lima region, what's being built today is creating the quality of life we'll all enjoy tomorrow. In Lima, transformation is happening in real time. Downtown is alive with new restaurants, small businesses, and housing, bringing more people and energy back to the city center. More than $60 million has been invested in downtown projects, each one more than just bricks and mortar. They're about entrepreneurship and opportunities. From Spring and Main with Casa Luau, No-No Cellar, Vista Tacos Rooftop Bar, and Duckpin Bowling, to the Central District's boutique shopping experience with specialty retail, a coffee and chocolate shop, a bakery, all right next to the social house. The new Greater Lima Region Amphitheater has hosted concerts and cultural showcases, while projects like the Booker Building are filling in gaps and transforming the cityscapes. Lima's downtown has become a destination. With the new Lima Aquatic Center now open, families and visitors have another great place to gather and grow. Together, these investments make Lima a place where progress feels personal and the future feels bright.
Outside Lima, the story continues across Allen County and its townships, cities, and villages, where there is forward movement with purpose. In the city of Delphos, revitalization is taking shape with projects like the Mill, Doc's Dance Hall, and other locally owned businesses, reinvigorating historical facades and breathing new life into the downtown area. The Delphos Chamber of Commerce welcomes several new businesses to the downtown, from family-owned shops, cafes, to new service providers who anchor the community, bringing energy and local pride to Main Street and beyond. Vanomatic has grown their machining capabilities within a new CNC division located at a nearby facility within the Delphos Industrial Park. This new space adds high-tech machinery and new jobs that will better serve their customer needs. An extended Ambrose Drive connecting to the relocated Gressel Drive will improve travel time between their plants and will be constructed in 2026. Novus Foods, formerly known as Lakeview Farms, has broken ground on a new distribution center, expanding their existing footprint, growing their 500-employee workforce, and streamlining their operations to efficiently ship products to their other locations across the United States. In American Township, a community wish is finally coming true with the construction of a brand new Target store located at the former Macy's site. It's a long-awaited development that adds convenience, boosts local shopping, and signals growth in one of the region's busiest retail and restaurant corridors. A $1 billion investment in a new data center, slated for construction to begin in 2026, includes $50 million of infrastructure improvements to the area. The improvements funded by the data center will provide safer, more accessible roadways and improve services to the community. In Shawnee and Perry Township, industrial development is on the rise. On Commerce Parkway, Ohio Logistics will be breaking ground on the construction of 2 new 100,000 square foot spec buildings near Bob Evans and Perry Protect. While on J-Bag Parkway, a logistics company will construct a new 128,000 square foot distribution hub on 25 acres near Wheelan Randall Bearings with improved roadways and utilities. All of these projects will be visible in early 2026.
Across Allen County, the story is one of progress and pride. From our largest city to our smallest villages and townships, projects today are building the quality of life we'll all enjoy for decades.
So wow, that's just all captured in, in the last few months here of the development. And so my theme going into tonight was really about new development. Last year, the theme was about redevelopment. We did a lot of brownfield cleanups of old buildings, and we did a lot of redevelopment. But this year, in reflection, it's been really about new development that's happening across the county. I think this community should be really happy that we are making a turning point and putting Lima-Allen County on the map for sure. So thank you all. And, we do this, we don't do this alone. We have a small staff and bringing Tim on and Jenna, they've been a great asset. And we don't do this alone. I mean, we do this with all of you in this room tonight. We have wonderful boards. We have great stakeholders. We have wonderful resources. But we have to stay focused on economic development. And EDGE wants to be that premier, trusted, dependable economic development organization that you guys can all be proud of as you grow, keep your business here, and you grow, and we attract new businesses. And so that's what our main focus is new business development, promoting and nurturing our current businesses that we have here, as well as retention and creation of jobs. So our investments over the years have been quite substantial. Dave and I started 5 years ago looking at investments, capital investments across the county. And as you can see, over the years, they've continued to grow. Companies have confidence now that they can invest in machinery and equipment and square footage because they know they have a trusted organization and a whole group of stakeholders that's going to help them achieve their success. And really in the last 5 to 6 years, we're at about $3.5 billion of investment. And those are just the investments our organizations have been involved with. There's a lot of organic growth that happens that just naturally happens, which is wonderful. But these are projects that we intentionally get involved with and intentionally want to see being successful in our community. So not only are we, proud of what we do locally, but we're being recognized nationally. And I know if those of you that this might be your second or third annual meeting, you hear us brag about site selection ranking, but it's important because this particular magazine, it has almost 50,000 subscribers, and they're all C-level people. And so when we can be out there and bragging about what we're doing in Lima-Allen County, we'll take every bit of that. So in 2024, we did have 10 projects. We ranked second nationally per capita on fourth in project development in 2024. Many of you probably have received an email from Tim. I'm going to put a plug in. We are gathering information for 2025. And one thing I have learned about economic development is from Dave setting goals and saying, we don't like to be second, we want to be first. And so, we'd love to be first. We've not gotten that ranking yet. Bowling Green, Kentucky keeps beating us out, but we're hoping that we get a better ranking. So if those of you that have done investments in your companies, and those metrics are you've at least added 20,000 square feet of new brick and mortar, you've added 20 new jobs, or you've invested $1 million in capital investment in machinery and equipment. So please come forward and help us get that. Our deadline's in about a week. So nationally, we rank really well among communities of our size. And really, this was another one from this year. Lima ranked 5th as the best city in Ohio. And look at the cities 1, 2, 3, and 4, okay? We might not be Columbus, but to be in the top 5, Mayor, it was wonderful, right? Of being best place to live in the top 5. Thank you. And you know, some of those indices were the net migration, quality of life, our job market, desirability, and value. And so we love to see these kind of things nationally. It puts us on the map. So I think it was wonderful that that U.S. News ranked us as, and we're going to take advantage of that, right? Every bit of it. We'll take it. So much of what we do have goals. And we do have a mission in life, and we have to stay focused. There's so much activity, so many people driving the bus in Lima, Allen County. But where we stick to our guns is on our top primary goals, and that's supporting our existing businesses. We have to be out there doing that, make sure they're sustaining and they're growing in this community. We also want to stay focused on attracting new businesses. There's always new sectors that are looking to come into communities, and we've got a community there to support those. And then thirdly, we can't do any of this development without infrastructure and site preparedness. And so we have to be ready when a company comes to us and they're looking for property. We have to be able to have the property ready to go, have it under control, know that we have access and that we have utilities. And so being ready is part of what we do. Now, the other goals, in my mind, they are secondary goals, but they're really supporting goals to our major 3 goals with workforce development, our initiatives, and other programs, market rate housing and downtown vibrancy, as well as marketing and communication, which, by the way, I think our marketing communications is really beginning to pay off. People are starting to pay attention to who we are. So along the lines of our existing business, and I think someone mentioned it earlier, I think it was Chase, about our business visits. They're called business retention and expansion visits. That's sort of the main metrics for economic development. Across the state, local economic development offices are measuring these things, and we're pretty competitive about it too in Northwest Ohio. And so far, bringing Tim on's been great. His focus is with with business retention and expansion, as well as workforce development. But we've done a really good job of getting out and meeting with companies, because if we're not meeting with them face to face, we don't really know what's going on, and we don't know what their barriers are. We don't know what it's going to take to keep them here and growing. So we've been pretty successful at going out and meeting those companies. And what's the outcome? I mean, we're just not out having coffee, although we do. Dave does a lot of lunches.
Yeah.
But we're just not out having coffee with everybody. We are out looking for some substantial outcomes. And so with that, we have identified about 12 business development projects. But we don't do this alone. We have resources, and many of you represent the resources that we use from our Chamber of Commerce, Jobs Ohio, obviously, with Regional Growth Partnership, the Port Authority of Lucas County, Ohio Means Jobs, a Department of Development, Department of Transportation, our colleges, EPA. And so we can't do what we do without the resources available to us to help our companies stay here and grow here. And one of the great examples of a BR&E visit really comes from Procter & Gamble. So show the video, please.
Since the 2022 Procter & Gamble announcement of a $501 million investment in the Lima plant, much has been accomplished. Let's hear from the company's leadership for an update.
Lima has a central position for Procter & Gamble.
we can reach 60% of US population within a day. Moreover, the capability of our employees has enabled consistent results over the years. In the past 2+ years, Procter & Gamble Lima has changed a lot. Supply warehouse expansion has been completed, adding 2 modules of warehouse, increasing our storage by over 40,000 pallet spots. Also, our shipping capacity to serve North American consumers increased by 40%. The building for in-wash sand beads, commonly known as Downy Unstoppables, has been erected, and we are in the process of installing equipment and facilities.
Well, if you've driven down Thayer Road recently, you can see we're still in the construction phase of the project. The exterior of the site is finally starting to come together. It's finally starting to look like a real manufacturing site. Our relationships with AEDG and the Port Authority have been super impactful to the expansion projects as well as the business as a whole.
It is critically important to have regular touch points and collaborative working relationships with local and regional partners. Locally, the Allen County Engineers Office, Allen Water District, and the City of Lima offices have been key partners in making timely progress with the new facility. Incentive support from Jobs Ohio and Ohio Means Jobs Allen County have enabled training of our new employees. Together, the Ohio Department of Development and the Ohio Department of Transportation have supported roadway infrastructure improvements.
One example of a way EDGE has positively impacted the expansion projects is by obtaining grant funding from the Ohio Department of Development for a new roundabout that is constructed in front of our new site, thus reducing the overall exposure to P&G.
This project will be successful because of the great communication and collaboration across all of these entities.
Thank you, Procter & Gamble, for your commitment to Lima. Other significant business development project I'd like to mention, I know that you saw Vanomatic in the video. Vanomatic over in Delphus, they've moved into more than 25,000 square feet and have added 30 new jobs this year. Whiteford Kenworth was renting or leasing a small space out near I-75, and they bought the former Harley-Davidson facility, which was wonderful. We didn't have to see a building sit vacant. They went into 34,000 square feet. They have about 15 employees that they retained, and they're adding about 10 new jobs. We also, Nutrien, towards the end of the year, I don't know where Russ is at, but we announced a 20,000 square foot warehouse building late last year, and that's been constructed for Nutrien. Novus Foods, you saw that as well in the video. They're going to be constructing 138,000 square feet, a $35 million investment, 15 new jobs, and retention of over 500 employees in the city of Delphus. And then lastly, just another example is Guardian Energy, committed to more machinery and equipment, totaling about $13 million this year. So this is just several examples of those existing businesses that are important to this community, and they continue to invest in Lima Allen County. But so we don't always pay attention to the big guys, let's face it. I mean, it's a big investment, big jobs, but we also have to pay attention to some of our small businesses and the wonderful things that they do, and they are the backbone of our community. And thankfully, for the Jobs Ohio Small Business Grant, we've been able to grant 19 small businesses since the beginning of the program, and we've awarded almost $550,000 of grant money to those 19 companies. And thanks to RGP and Jobs Ohio, they continue to add money into that program. There are some eligibilities, and they do have to fit, your business has to fit into those 10 Jobs Ohio sectors. But it's been very successful. We've been able to retain over almost 500 jobs there, creating 70 new jobs. So if you're a small business and you fit into one of those top 10 sectors with Jobs Ohio, come and see us. And we'd like to know if you qualify or not. So we love being able to serve those small businesses. So our second goal with attraction, well, we can't, we love our existing businesses, but we also have to be looking towards the future. We have to be looking towards new business sectors. And so we receive leads. We have a funnel of leads, and Jobs Ohio provides leads on a regular basis. But we are often getting many leads from our businesses, our existing businesses, our utility partners, developers, real estate agents and brokers. So our phones are busy because we're getting a lot of recognition. People are wanting to know what's going on, and do you have land? Do you have buildings? Where can we be in Lima, Ohio? And we've had we've been managing about 14 of these attraction projects, but we had a couple really big wins this year. These take time. They don't happen overnight. Project Bosque, these attraction projects, and I'm serious about this. They're code named. We don't make these things up. They're confidential, but I know many of you have heard about the data center. We've been working with them for over 3 years, and they finally landed in American Township on 350 acres. And you will see equipment start being deployed out there. Now, they haven't announced who they are yet. It's coming. It's going to be a 2026 announcement. It's going to be early in the year, January, February. We're going to be out in the cornfield. Again, breaking ground for a wonderful new business sector when it comes to a data center. First time, new business sector, I think it's going to be great. $1.5 billion over the next 5 to 10 years on that particular win. Another big win, we've been calling this, it started out Project Last Mile. That was my name. And then it kind of morphed into Project Sloan. I think that was the developer's name. But I'm happy to be able to announce this distribution center out on J-Beg Parkway. It's Amazon, if you didn't already know. So there's a press release, and I was telling Tim as of 5 o'clock today, I hadn't got the approval on the press release just yet, but we're hoping by tomorrow morning we'll have a press release announcing that Amazon will be building a 120,000 square foot facility out on J-Beg Parkway. 25 to 30 employees, but hundreds of contractors in and out of our community will be working on that particular project. So 2 big stars this year. Lots of people in this room have put a lot of time and effort into helping us get to the place we are. And without these sites being ready to go, having access, having utilities, and having that local support. And when I mean local support, I'm meaning support from the county, the villages, the townships, zoning boards. It takes all of those things coming together to make these big wins happen. So I think these household names are, again, going to really put a spotlight on Lima, Allen County, especially when we get to announce who the data center is coming soon. So there are a few other significant projects. I think earlier we mentioned Ohio Logistics. Chuck Bill is in the house tonight. And we are going to be breaking ground on December 12th. I called Chuck. I said, Chuck, are you afraid of the cold? And he said, no. And I said, then we're going to do a groundbreaking ceremony in December. I'm not waiting until spring. This has been a long project. Dave started working on it about 5 years ago. Finally got him away from calling it Project Gunsmoke. It's now Ohio Logistics. So Ohio Logistics will be building 2 100,000 square foot buildings, manufacturing buildings, investing about $20 million. And hey, we're getting a Target. Aren't all us girls happy about that? Our husbands are not, but, and Target's been one of those things, I can't even get them to put up a sign saying, Target coming soon. They only want to make the announcement when they're opening their doors, and I'm hoping that's going to be midsummer of next year. So Target, if you've been by the Lima Mall, it is amazing to see that size of that building going up. And of course, the Amazon project, hot off the press here in Shawnee Township, something we need to be proud of, as well as the data center out in the corner of Cole and Berry Roads. and that huge investment there. So pretty excited about the attraction projects we've been able to bring across the finish line. These things don't happen overnight. And then thirdly, our concentration, we got to continue looking to the future. We're out of land. I mean, we have a lot of land, but we need to get control of land. We need to continue building infrastructure and preparing our sites. We still have a wonderful site down in Perry Township, about 500 acres we have under option. But the Port Authority is selling off land. We need to get more land. We need to option more land. We've got land that was cleaned up through brownfield redevelopment out of the former EDCO site. We've got some wonderful plans with the city of Lima on that site, the Allen County Home. So we're getting there with those. But just look at the infrastructure needs that we have. Brian Rhodes and the county engineer is wonderful. He gets about $3 million a year to take care of our roads and bridges, and he does a good job. But beyond that, when economic development brings a project to him, he's like, how am I going to pay for that? So we've got companies that through private dollars are helping us improve our intersections, widen our roads. The data center alone, this is more than road work, but they've committed to pay for up to $50 million of infrastructure. So that's roadway, water, and sewer. That's all on them. We've been pretty successful getting grants as well from the Ohio Department of Development, from ODOT. So we are helping the county engineer make sure that we have good infrastructure and we have good utilities to support all the development we have underway. And this is just a few examples of what some of the infrastructure, you can go to the next slide. These are some of the projects. The one is with Ambrose Road. That's a project connecting some businesses together. The beautiful roundabout that's now out at Procter & Gamble that we finished there on Thayer Road. So if you've been down Thayer Road, well, it looks great today. It's going to even look better in the future, not only servicing Procter & Gamble, but making it safer and more accessible for all those residents out there in that area or people that are traveling on Thayer Road. And then, of course, we have the J. Begg Parkway, and that's where Amazon's going to be. So Amazon's extending the road with their own money. They've also committed to $1.5 million of an intersection improvement and widening of McLean Road. So it really takes public-private dollars to see these projects to fruition. So I, once again, want to thank our board. We have a 13-member board. Kurt Alexander, you're going to hear from him in just a couple of moments. He chairs our board. Dr. Cynthia Spears will be she's vice chair. Chad King, I don't know if Chad's here tonight, but these people and all the other board members, they give their time. They're volunteering their time. They commit to board meetings and every other thing we need to call them and ask them for support on. But we have a very diversified board between public and private sector. Got a great board. Thank you all. I know Dave recognized you earlier. We also can't do this without the Port Authority. Many of these initiatives and incentives, they've come through the work of the Port Authority. Rex Huffman's done a great job of teaching us how to do these things in the last 5 years. We wouldn't be where we are today without our three organizations of GLR, EDGE, and the Port Authority. So the Port Authority is a 7-member board, and you'll see those folks there. Phil Buell is the chair of that board, and we've got public-private board members there as well. So thank you so much. I hope you've enjoyed hearing all the great things that are going on in Lima, Allen County, and I honestly don't see it stopping. I honestly don't think we're going to get a breath in. It's going to be right into 2026, and we're going to keep moving. So thank you all.
Allen County thrives thanks to the collaboration of 3 key organizations: GLR, AEDG, and the Port Authority. The Greater Lima region, also known as the GLR, focuses on economic growth, community development, and regional collaboration through strategic partnerships to create a vibrant and resilient region. It provides capital support to economic development organizations and to impactful projects with a priority to strengthen regional workforce initiatives. The Allen Economic Development Group, or AEDG, drives business growth directly in Allen County. It supports the expansion of existing businesses, attracts new industries, and drives job creation. AEDG is funded by 51% private via the GLR and 49% from public sources such as cities, villages, townships, and the county, making AEDG a private, nonprofit economic development organization. The Port Authority of Allen County, administered by the AEDG, drives development through strategic land ownership, financing, and incentives. It owns approximately 100 acres of prime land and has purchase options on over 500 acres adjacent to I-75 in the Gateway Shawnee Industrial Park. Together, GLR, AEDG, and the Port Authority form a powerful alliance, fueling growth and shaping a stronger future for Allen County and the surrounding areas.
Okay, well, you've heard a lot of what's going on in Lima, Allen County. We're excited about the fact that you all, though, are here. We believe in you. And we've talked about a lot of big business. We've talked about some big projects. But a number of years ago, so you have to go back to about 2015 through 2018, when Cindy and I would go out and we'd do BR&Es, often the businesses would say, this is great, and you're helping us in a wonderful way. However, you really need to focus on a few other items. What are those items? Things like we need to really start working on workforce. So we heard you, and we're going after the workforce piece. What about the housing? So you're going to see just shortly, we're doing a lot in respect to housing. What about downtown development? And we have a beautiful team with the city and with the mayor and Shane of trying to work on downtown development. The next slide will show you a little bit about the mission of the Greater Lima region. And that's just basically, we're dedicated to driving economic development and community growth with strategic partnerships. All that being said, I don't want to underestimate the fact that it's the small business that is very important to Lima, Allen County as well. And so I want to highlight, where's Josh? Josh and the Chamber of Commerce is a beautiful team that really helps with so much, but so is Downtown Lima, doing a great job of working with the smaller businesses. We've all got a part in this. We have regional planning, but you just saw a video that kind of describes how we're trying to divide up things, assignments in respect to the Greater Lima region and Allen Economic Development Group and the Port Authority of Allen County. And a number of years ago, so it's been about 2 years ago that Phil and the team said, Dave, are you interested in switching over to the GLR? Because we want to really highlight the fact that we want to do some of those other features other than just business development. But what about the housing? What about the workforce? What about marketing the area? So we're going to start putting more time and energy into that, and that's what we've done. And so if you go to the next slide, this is the GLR board. Again, 10 really amazing folks that are part of that. Some are big business, some are smaller businesses, and when I say smaller, Tracy Sanchez is not a smaller business. She and what she's doing on Central Avenue is just amazing. I want to also highlight what John's doing. John Hafey has become a wonderful partner. These are very important businesses to our community. And it also enhances what can be done with the larger businesses. GLR is then focused on some of those other items other than attracting business and enhancing business, like Cindy was talking about. The goal was to try to take and give EDGE the opportunity to really have a central focus. What can they do to try to enhance business, attract business? What about site development and so forth? Then the GLR would then take on some of the other items as well, and you'll see that on this list. The first item is partnerships. It can't do this alone. Business advocacy, regional alignment, support for generational projects, workforce initiatives, expanding the housing stock, and marketing the area. we're really focused on that with the GLR. If you look at the partnership, and I mentioned this earlier, it was 60 at the beginning of the year. It's running now, it's approaching 100. It's going to be 130 because all of you who are not a member, I'm going to encourage you to consider it because we're seeing amazing things take place. Financial support, assistance, and so forth. Let's go to the next slide. We're starting to also, we want you all to have the ability to connect with other people. So we're doing a lot of networking opportunities. This is strictly for GLR members. GLR Connect is a bi-weekly newsletter that Jenna really works with us to do. What? To inform you. This only goes to the GLR membership. The GLR engagement breakfast. So once a quarter, we're going to gather people that are members of the GLR, and we're going to try to help them network, but also be a part of all the development that's taking place. And you can see a few other things there. Business advocacy, Cindy mentioned this, it takes a lot of different groups for us to be able to have the monies available to be able to find success. And you can read a number of those that are on the screen. The next slide, we'll talk about regional alignment. We have a number of counties beyond Allen County that are here tonight. The goal really is not to do their economic development and so forth, but it's to try to work together to see this as a regional area for people to come and be a part of. And so we're doing a lot of things in respect to quarterly meetings. How can we get, Matt, where are you? You're here somewhere, right? Matt Gilroy. Matt's over at Hancock County, beautiful partner. Can't say enough about what they do. But we're trying to then look at how we can bring the counties together. And we just developed what's called the regional SEDS. It's a comprehensive plan that we did. Allen County was one of 6 counties that did not have a regional SEDS of the 88 counties in the state of Ohio. We do. We're going to officially have one here shortly. And it's working together with the 5 counties that you see on the screen: Allen, Auglaize, Hancock, Hardin, and Van Wert. We will then become a regional SEDS that will give us opportunities for federal economic development monies to be able to do projects. Support for generational projects. You've heard a lot of this, all right, tonight. And there's more to come. If you're a developer or you're a contractor, you probably want to take a picture of that list, right? But there's a lot of interesting things on that list. And Cindy mentioned this. This is us speaking boldly, proudly, and truthfully to you. And that is, right now, we have about 26 generational projects that we're working on. That's pretty exciting. These things don't just, they don't happen every day. And we're going to be aggressive, whether it's a big project or small project. They're all important to us. And we're going to support what's going on downtown with the Walder family. Where's the Walder family? They were here. There you go. Brian's right here, and Justin, okay. With the Metro Center, that's an awesome project. What's John doing? That guy, I'll buy you a dinner at Casa or something because he's doing a lot of good things. And then Tracy, what she's doing at Center. Where's Drew at? Drew and Tracy right here, just doing amazing things. Next slide. Workforce, we've heard a lot about that. You don't need to hear more from me on that. Tim did a beautiful job. Next slide. Housing, okay, you can see on the screen, housing has been a real priority, okay? Project 129, Eric, where are you? Eric's back here. Is Tim here? Tim's not here. Tracy's here. So the goal was because I just kind of came in after the fact, but they took a census tract in Lima, Ohio, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but a census tract called Census Tract 129. It's a very challenged area, okay, where we want to go in and buy houses to upgrade them, to be able to bring them to a different level so that they can then sell the property to somebody and have ownership, okay? So we're buying properties at 50 to 75 to 100,000, putting 50 in it and trying to get it turned over. Been a lot of success with that. Over the last couple of years, about 12 projects that have already been accomplished that are exciting, but there's more to come. And then you'll see other things. Riverfront 1, some interesting things there. Hawthorne Hills, Shawnee Lakes, Metro Center I mentioned with Brian and Steve and the team. Autumn Lake. Jerry, where are you? You here? I think Jerry's here. Jerry, he's doing a beautiful job. You go down 75 and you'll see a bunch of houses being built in Bath Township. That's Jerry, and he's getting after it. Thanks for doing that, okay? And then Allen County Home, we cleaned that up. We see some good things there. Bloss and his team are working on 810 West North and Lima 315 LLC. So there's a lot of housing going on. And then marketing. Hey, we need to tell the story, and we're not going to be bashful. I know we're successful. When my 102-year-old mom said, hey, I saw you walking in the fields with the mayor. Okay, it was a commercial. And so she's excited, so I am too. Let's go to the next slide. Here we go. So I'm going back to where we started. I am so excited about the group, I'm going to call it the group of 8. That's kind of unique. I kind of like the ring of that. Anyhow, I just came up with that. But anyhow, young professionals that want to be engaged with the future. Okay, the first video was, why'd you come back? This video is to say, what do you see for the future of Lima Allen County in the region, and why do you want to be engaged? Check out this video.
My hope is that businesses continue to see the potential of Lima. This is a good place. This is a growing place. And if you come here, I do think that the greater Lima region would answer the call.
I think the values of GLR and EDGE and the mayor and local businesses are all kind of aligned right now. And they're aligned towards quality of life.
You can get a very high quality of life and be in a position where you can get into the ownership type of area.
To really take on a big project, it's hard for one individual to do. But I see GLR and EDGE as a place for someone to go and say, I've got this great plan, how can we make this happen?
If you are working smart, you're working together, you're leaning on your other businesses in town to do wonderful things for this community. I think you can't do it alone.
One thing that really encourages me to stay in Lima is the buy-in from the local community and the stakeholders, and just the way that they're committed to the community.
It's a collaboration and it benefits both of us. So when the GLR looks at places like Nutrien or other large businesses, we're able to invest in each other. We wouldn't have the growth and the stability we have without Greater Lima Region support.
We're all kind of rowing in the same direction. We want to make this a great place to live, work, and play.
One person doing it themselves is nothing compared to multiple minds seeing what they can create together.
I want to be an impactful, productive member of my community, right? And I think everyone has a role to play in that.
If there's things that you want to see change and improve upon, there's so many people here you can reach out to, and it's a great organization to help put all that together.
I love that. Give them a hand. I love that. So we're going to invite up Kurt Alexander. Did I wake you up? Did I bore you? Wow. I don't know if I want to. Okay, you're ready. Okay, so Kurt, come forward. So Kurt is the chairman of the board for Allen Economic Development Group, become a really special friend. So Kurt, it's all yours.
Wow, evening everybody. Big group here. Great to see you. So Dave, as he said, he invited me to share a few thoughts on Lima Allen County economic development. I think he gave me 5 minutes, actually. So, Dave, I'm feeling pretty good about that. You didn't give other people 5 minutes.
4
now. 4 now. All right. Well, thank you. Anyway, I'd like to take you on a journey with me. And to go on that journey, we really need to look back to look forward. So, as I think, it is really important, right, to understand our past as we work to build our future. So through most of the 1800s, right, Lima Allen County was agriculture-centric. But with the discovery of oil in the 1880s, this really put Lima Allen County on the map as an agriculture and industrial center. With the building of a refinery, the Loco Works, a steel mill, trucks, buses, and tanks, along with electric motors, the industrial foundations upon which Lima Allen County's population and economy grew were cemented. Lima was a place to be. New hotels, a vibrant community, vibrant arts, educational institutions, healthcare, and a stop on major train routes from Detroit, Chicago, and New York brought people to Lima and fueled areas of growth through the 60s. Beginning in the 70s, Lima, like many industrial small towns, right, fell victim to a challenging new business model, globalization. Some companies retooled to hang on, while others were closed and people left to find work elsewhere. While this time was difficult, the people who stayed in Lima-Allen County were resilient and resourceful. They continually looked for ways to fight for companies to stay and bring in new investment that would move the area forward. New restaurants and clothing retailers, expansions to healthcare facilities and industrial complexes, along with some downtown revitalization, kept investments coming to Lima-Allen County. Unfortunately, the population continued to decline, and while some saw the glasses half empty, others saw the glasses half full. Fast forward to today. In case you missed it, Lima-Allen County still has the foundations that were laid in its early years: agriculture, industry, arts, community, infrastructure, education, and healthcare. And thanks to significant investments made over the past 5 to 7 years, across all of these areas, Lima-Allen County has a growing industrial base, thriving arts and retail spaces, updated medical and educational institutions, all at the crossroads of America. And I really liked the Golden Rivers statement, by the way. Lima, again, is being recognized as a place to be. So, all because of a group of resilient and resourceful people, some who came before us, and others who are sitting in this room tonight. You, along with your partners from across the county and across the state, are driving Lima-Allen County's transformation. While this is a night to celebrate accomplishments, it is not just the end, it is really the beginning, right? It's a call to roll up our sleeves, to continue working together, because the list of companies interested in Lima-Allen County is long and growing. And we have a vision for what Lima-Allen County can be. I hope you are as excited as I am about the future of Lima-Allen County. Thank you.
There you go. Well done. So I want to invite up Phil Buell. Phil's coming forward here now. He's chairman of the Allen County Port Authority, as well as chairman of the board for the Greater Lima region. Become a real good friend. Thanks for being willing to share.
All right. Well, I guess my job's easy tonight, but I just get to say thank you. Thank you to the GLR members for supporting us. Without you, we couldn't do what we do to support EDGE. Thanks to the city and the county for doing their part, because again, without them, we couldn't do our part. I think tonight is, I don't know if anybody's ever been to a parent-teacher conference, and sometimes it makes you a little nervous because you're not quite sure what they're going to say. But when you get done and you've had that interaction with the teacher and it's like, you know what, your kids are doing all right. You're not our kids, but you're doing all right. And I couldn't be prouder of what these guys do. We do this with a really small staff. You know, you got Jenna, you got three sitting here. It's been visible tonight. And they just do an outstanding job. They really do. And as a manager of the credit union, sometimes I think, are we giving them the resources they need to be successful? And I think we are. But then I also see of the 28 projects you're working on right now, that phones are ringing right now. Allen County's hot. Ohio is hot. We've got it right, what's going on. I've been in economic development helping here for the last probably 15, 20 years. I can remember when we lost every possible deal across that border to Indiana. We don't lose them anymore. And I think, though, with the resources we have, could we do more if we had more resources? We don't talk about adding people. These guys are very frugal. But if we had 4 people and we had 8 people working just as hard as these guys are, would we have 56 projects going on right now? I do think there's enough business out there right now that we are possibly missing stuff just because these guys work at capacity. When Cindy says it took her 3 years to get Project Boss across the finish line, it was 3 years. I mean, I was there from the beginning, and we thought, it's ups and downs all the way through with these companies. You You can't imagine how many hurdles you have to cross just to get it across the finish line. And we still don't get to announce it to hopefully, January 26th maybe is the date they might do it. But it's going to be wonderful. When you hear that, you hear Amazon, you see Target, we are on fire here in Allen County. So my question, or my ask for you tonight is this. Your budgets are coming up. When you look at the Excel spreadsheet and it says fund the GLR, take a look at it and say, we're in. We're not just in, we're all in. If you can add a little bit, do. So maybe we can get these guys some more help. And if you don't, are not a supporter, we encourage you, sit down with Dave, listen to what we have to do, find out what the giving levels are. Nothing's too small, and of course, nothing's too big. Help us any way you can. So with that, thank you to everyone, and keep up the great work.
Amen. Well, look at that, 7:30, got 2 minutes. Cindy and I we're going to close things down. I can't say enough about Phil, and he is a fan and supporter of economic development, has been. But you can go right through the list with all of that board that you saw for the GLR. These people are tremendous people. It really is truly heartwarming for me to be able to work alongside them. And I missed the mayor earlier, but I wanted to highlight her. So, you want to stand up? This lady's doing a tremendous job. And really, and I say this sincerely, has become a real friend. I got one more concluding thought. Do you have anything you'd like to say?
Just want to thank everybody for all your support and all the efforts, because it does take all of us to make these things happen in Lima, Allen County.
It's time for a celebration. Let's give us all you a hand. Can we do that? It's been a great night. We love this night. I want to also highlight the fact we have Video Branch back in the back. Give them a hand. They do outstanding. Drew Fox Group did a lot of the sound work for us. Thank you for all that you guys do. And also let's thank the Shawnee Country Club. Jonah's running around here somewhere. Give him a hand as well. Well, very good. It's been a night of celebration. Blessings to all of you. Thanks for coming. Enjoy your night. Stay safe. There you go.